the same time I need to be so humble, because it's a big thing that a youth like 33-year-old youth has been given the responsibility to represent the youth of not only Vadodara but the Gujarat.
But what is the challenge this time? I know that Mr. Patil has set a 10 lakh victory margin, especially for Vadodara, while it's 5 lakh for the other constituencies. Will you be able to manage that?
I believe that in BJP, we are not like mushroom people. We don't, come during seasons. We, the Karyakarta of BJP, are into the people, with the people in all their ups and downs. Where when there was a COVID, our BJP Karyakartas were there. Where there is any flood-like situation or any calamity, our BJP Karyakartas are on the war foot.
All right. Do you think that the Rajput and the Patidar agitation is going to impact your victory margin?
See, I believe that Rajput community has always stood by, the Dharma and always stood by the Rashtra. I don't believe that, they will, get misled by any other party and, don't vote for BJP. Because
since you mentioned another party, let's also talk about Surat, the first unopposed victory for the Bharatiya Janata Party. In fact, I was talking to Hardik Patel and he said that this is just the beginning. There are going to be many more Surats to come for the BJP. And the Congress party is also accusing the Bharatiya Janata Party of foul play. How do you react to allegations of foul play in Surat?
I believe that what happened in Surat, it was a good sign of God. That first Kamal has came to Delhi, and that is also from Gujarat. So we all are lucky that we are from Gujarat, and I believe that Congress has lost that energy to even fight. They are just fighting for the sake of fighting. They are not going to the people and they are not raising the true questions, and because of that they are losing the credibility in the heart of people.
All right, many thanks to you, Hemang, for speaking to us. Here's wishing you the very best.
Thank you.
Here's hoping, since you're the youngest BJP leader, we do hope that connect helps you to sort of also garner more votes from the youth of Gujarat.
For sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Interestingly, Vadodara is not just the political hub when it comes to Gujarat. Remember, it's also known as the cultural hub only because of Maharaja, the Gaikwads, the royals of Vadodara. In fact, we also happen to have the golden opportunity to visit the Royal Palace of Baroda and spend a day with the Maharanis of Baroda. Let's also give you a quick walkthrough through that Royal Palace, which, let me tell you, is 4 times the size of Buckingham Palace and is also the largest private residence in the world.
Four times the size of Buckingham Palace. This is the largest private residence in the world. Welcome to the Lakshmi Vilas Palace in Vadodara. It is owned by the Gaikwads, the rulers of the princely state of Baroda. The royal palace is now led by His Royal Highness Samarjit Singh Gaikwad and his wife Maharani Radhika Raje Gaikwad. Often compared to Maharani Gayatri Devi of Jaipur, Radhika Raje Gaikwad is toasted as a beautiful and progressive Maharani of this era. She shares her understanding of princely India in modern times.
Princely India in today's time is as relevant as you choose to make it. I think the titles are redundant, as we all know, but there is still an affection that the people hold for the family, for the members of the family, and for the past, the present, and for the the future. If you see, my daughters are receiving so much love and support for their initiatives. My daughter is only 17, older one, and her project is. People are supporting from around the world, and it comes because of the legacy, because there is a trust, that is so closely, it's co-joined with the family. People have the ability to support, lean in, trust the family, because they know that there will be no ulterior motive. We are not going to be fly-by-night operators. So that's how it is relevant today, as relevant as you make yourself.
Perhaps Raje's own beauty is a reflection of the Lakshmi Vilas Palace, one that she owns. Spread across 500 acres, it has over 170 rooms. Built in 1890 by Maharaja Sayaji Rao Gaikwad III, the Lakshmi Vilas showcases the Indo-Saracenic revival architecture style. The facades of the palace are dotted with features such as small domed chhatris, cusped arched openings and jharokha windows. Back in the day, the royals of Baroda ensured that the palace has every luxury you can think of. At the time of construction, it was equipped with the most modern technology available back then, such as wooden elevators. The tropical trees and water fountains still provide relief to the scorching Indian afternoons. The royal element is further enhanced with sculptures. Rajmata Shubhangini Raje Gaikwad tells us more.
It has been a very iconic building, and considering that it is now over 100 and almost 30 years, I think, around that time, because it was completed in 1889. It was a very modern building for its time in those days. And I think Maharaja Sayaji Rao, he built it. He was living in an older palace in the middle of the city, and then he was building this. So he wanted to get sort of the best, the techniques of building and the best engineering feats which the Britishers had at that time. And so he had an English architect. But the brief was always that it has to be Indianized in some way. It shouldn't look like a building in England or something like that, even though the architects were from British architects. So it was very Indianized.
Interestingly, the Rajgharana of Baroda is also known for its women empowerment, an issue that also finds resonance with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, a fellow Gujarati and an untiring advocate of Nari Shakti.
The royal women from the Rajgharana of Baroda have always been the face of princely India, taking their beauty and poise beyond just looks, only because they have always adopted campaigns and issues in the interest of women.
During the reign of the Gaikwads, a lot of importance was given to education and empowerment of women, which was not there earlier. A lot of institutions were started so that women could get educated and even have vocational training, etc. And of course, it was first started that the Maharanis should get educated before anyone else. So they were also educated. So Maharani Chimnabai, for her time, was one of the good educated women. And to think that in 1934 she even came out with a book. She authored a book on the status of women in India. To come out with a book like that, because she traveled extensively with her husband all over the world. She had seen women in the Far East also, seeing the Western women, how they live, and the condition of women in India. Baroda was the first state where the parda was removed, so in our country. So there were a lot of pioneering work done here.
Rajmata's daughter-in-law sheds light on how Nari Shakti is in fact embedded in the DNA of Gujarat.
Baroda has always had a history of very strong women coming down from the Maharani who adopted Maharaja Sayaji Rao against all odds. So, and I've seen that. My grandmother-in-law was regent of the state of Baroda. My mother-in-law is extremely inspiring and visionary. And I draw inspiration from that, because I don't see women always in high positions holding agency. And that cuts across classes, it cuts across society, it cuts across countries. So I feel blessed that I'm in a position that women are already empowered. So I was given this platform that I could follow and be authentic to what I really wanted to do. And also the fact, Akanksha, that I have 2 daughters. Ours is a patriarchal family. Today I have 2 daughters, and it was a conscious decision that we have them, because we realize that there is so much pressure in households like ours to produce a son, because it is always the male heir.
The Baroda dynasty is historically known for progressive women, one who stood up for themselves. But this royal family has also redefined regality in modern India. With video journalists Rajesh Bharadwaj and Vasant in Vadodara, Akanksha Swaroop, CNN News 18.
Interestingly, when you talk about the royals of Gaikwads, the royals of Baroda, their contribution in fact goes beyond just culture and arts. They have not just endorsed education but also had a very crucial role to play in the politics of Gujarat, which is why I leave you with what Rajmata Shubhangini Raje Gaikwad had to say with regards to the comments that have been just passed by Rahul Gandhi of the Congress party, where he attacked the Maharajas of the country, saying that it was only his grand old party that had fought for freedom and for democracy in the country. Otherwise, the Maharajas back then were in fact busy giving away land to the British. Shubhangini Raje Gaikwad has in fact lashed out at Congress leader Rahul Gandhi for his comments. Let's listen in to what she had to say in this exclusive. Meanwhile, I take your leave from Election Highway as I now proceed to the national capital. Thank you so much for watching Election Highway on CNN News 18.
The election season is on. Flippant remarks are being passed by certain leading politicians. I must say, case in point is Mr. Rahul Gandhi of the Congress party, who very flippantly said that it was their party, the grand old party, which fought for democracy, for the rights of people, because the Maharajas back then in India were busy giving away land to the British. How do you react to, callous remarks like these?
I think it's very sad and it's very unfortunate that this year, when we are celebrating the Amrit Mahotsav of our independence, an independence that was hard won from the British, in which everybody contributed, every body of every part of society contributed to it in some way or the other. And I don't think any party can claim for it, can take credit for it. It's not the party, it's the people of India who suffered, who fought for it, who supported whatever they felt and did. And also they have to realize that over 1/3 of India was occupied by the ruling families. If they wanted to be 500 plus rulers were in India, if they wanted to be difficult, they could have been very difficult, except just as one state of Hyderabad who was not agreeable to join with India. They wanted to be a mini Pakistan there. And one Nawab Sahib of Junagadh who left for Pakistan, but he didn't take.
मिल जाते थे। आज गुनाह सिद्ध हो चुका, सजा हो चुकी, फिर भी आप हाथ ऊंचा कर करके फोटो निकलवा रहे हो। आप भ्रष्टाचार का महिमा मंडन कर रहे हो। इस देश में ये आलोचना का विषय होना चाहिए। भ्रष्टाचार को न्यू नॉर्मल के रूप में ट्रीट नहीं करना चाहिए, वरना इस देश का बहुत नुकसान होगा जी। ये सवाल बीजेपी और अदर्स का वाला नहीं है, देश के लिए ठीक नहीं है कि आप इसको न्यू नॉर्मल बना दे। और मैं देख रहा हूं धीरे 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 ऐसा वातावरण बनाया जा रहा है, हाँ ठीक है यार वो तो चलता रहता है। यही तो गरीब आदमी मर रहा है जी। हमने कैसे भी करके इससे देश को मुक्त करना चाहिए, रिजॉल्व होना चाहिए कंट्री का, वो नहीं हो रहा है जी। और मैं तो मानता हूं कि भाई देखिए, मैं जो कोशिश कर रहा हूं, एक सिस्टम को पॉलिसी ड्रिवन बनाओ, टेक्नोलॉजी को भरपूर लाओ। आज हमने पहले एक प्रधानमंत्री कहते थे 1 रुपया जाता है 15 पैसा पहुंचता है,
जी।
आज मैं कहता हूँ 1 रुपया जाता है, पूरे 100 पैसे पहुंचते हैं डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट पे ट्रांसफर। क्यों? सिस्टम को सुधारो भाई। हमने जेम पोर्टल बनाया, करप्शन को कम करने की दिशा में हमारा बहुत बड़ा कदम है जी। दूसरा, समाज को भी जगाओ, समाज को भी आदत डालो कि भ्रष्टाचार बुरा है, किसी भी स्तर पर भ्रष्टाचार से मुक्त रहना चाहिए। और देश में वो वातावरण बन रहा है, पॉलिटिकल लोगों को डर नहीं है। और मैं मानता हूं उसमें कुछ मात्रा में ये जो सिर्फ हमारा विरोध है इसलिए उनका समर्थन कर देना, ये शोभा नहीं देता है भाई।
ऑपोजिशन की सारी पार्टीज, राहुल गांधी, कांग्रेस, सब ये कहते हैं कि मोदी जी ये जो है मैच फिक्सिंग कर रहे हैं इस चुनाव पर। उन्होंने कहा है कि ईडी, सीबीआई और ईवीएम के बिना आप चुनाव नहीं जीत सकते। क्या कहेंगे आप?
ईवीएम का जवाब तो देश की सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने दे दिया है, और 2014 में इनके पास ईडी थी, इनके पास सीबीआई थी, तो हार क्यों गए भाई?